Welcome to Hart, where we talk about games, movies, animes, young and old. I almost forgot what I was going to say there. And today we're going to be talking about Prometheus. Now, I've never seen Prometheus, so this is a new one for me. It's not a rewatch. It's just my first time with Prometheus. And damn, that movie fucking slaps. I really like Prometheus. It is a smart movie, man. Like right from the characters making actually smart decisions like the whole way through, and I really like that. Characters are consistent, which I always really like. So Prometheus is the first prequel of the Alien franchise. So it's going to give you like the origin basically of the xenomorph, more or less, while also giving you a good kind of insight on how even the alien universe works, because it's not just, I don't know, a universe with space marines who they're just aliens there. It's not just like Earth, but just over there. It's very complicated in the motivations that the people have there. It's more expanded on in Covenant, like right at the beginning. Well, just throughout the whole movie, I guess. But they do a good job in the very beginning of Covenant, which almost like should have been in Prometheus, but whatever. But basically, Prometheus is about humans trying to find their creators. And the creators, they call them engineers. So they want to, like, who engineered the planet? Who engineered us? You know, type of thing like that. Like, the whole alien thing isn't even, they're not worried about that shit. They're just some, space colonizers who are looking to colonize shit. I mean, yes, that is true, but also it's like they're also scientists, and they're trying to find literally like the meaning of life. Like, who created us? Why are we here? That's quite literally what they're trying to do. So our main characters have basically tracked it back to, they like found a planet where they think that there may be an engineer left. But it's kind of, the motive is geared from like one person. And this one person just not wanting to die. It's like this one old man who's like, puppeteering everyone because he just wants to find the engineers so that he can ask them like why they created humans, what the point was. And I think he's trying to find eternal life. I can't remember if I'm just like inserting that into my brain, but I'm pretty sure he's trying to find eternal life. Yeah, and it's like this whole fucked thing where like the old man created the synthetics. But the synthetics can't create, and that like really bothers them. And this idea to the robot people, they're like, so humans are trying to find their creators, and yet I'm looking at my creator, and my creator's going to die, and I'm not going to die. I'm going to live forever. It's like, what the fuck? I thought I was watching an alien movie. Like, shit gets really fucked and like deep. I'm mishmashing a little bit between I'm mashing Alien, Covenant, and Prometheus together. They are direct sequels though, so maybe I'll just talk about them both in this video because they are direct sequels taking place 10 years apart from each other. Yeah, but in Prometheus, like the whole first half of the movie is a really good setup. Like, they find the planet, and what I really liked is even when they get on the planet and they're like, hey, this planet's like good for like breathing and stuff, they still go out there, masks on, ready to do some investigating. Of course, there's one guy who's like, fuck it, and he takes it off, and then everything's fine. They all take their helmet off, and then they go investigating, yada yada. The whole time the humans are out investigating, they just kind of let the fucking synthetic do David. They just let David do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, he's like, oh, I'll go do this if you want. They're like, yeah, sure, like, knock your fucking socks off, man. Like, we don't care about you. And then he goes and does exactly what they should be doing. It's just like, what the fuck? What's going on here? It's almost like the humans are doing shit, but it like doesn't matter. It does matter. They're like uncovering the surface level of it, while the synthetic is really in the shit, finding the engineer. That's like the whole goal, is to find the engineer, while the humans are like almost doing an archaeological dig and finding old stuff, old like relics. The synthetic is just like fucking shit up. It's just and they don't notice. That's why I was annoyed that they didn't notice. Even when they're in the same room, they're like, hey, what are all these like random pods of shit? Like, we probably shouldn't fuck with any of that. And then there's like a bit of a panic and they want to leave. And the synthetic like takes a bunch of the shit, and then he like sets a bunch of, like, starts melting a bunch of them off. And you're like, what is this guy doing? Like, whose team are you on, brother? Like, clearly this synthetic is not a good guy. Like, he's doing something weird. He's got ulterior motives, and I don't like it. And that's because he is basically working for his creator. Like, that's all his motive is to help his creator, even though he just completely pities him and doesn't actually care about him or humans. David doesn't like humans. And David makes that very clear that he doesn't like humans, like, at all. He even just starts like doing experiments and literally like poisons another crewmate just to like to see what would happen. And then like the worst possible thing fucking happens pretty much. And he's like, nice, I just created something. It's like, what the fuck is this? This thing is insane. Like, I'm kind of back to being all over the place. Let me tone it down a little bit. I'm talking too much about like the plot and just like things that are happening in the movie, because like shit that happens in the movie is pretty insane. It is pretty wild. First kind of seeing of the xenomorph when it's in a little baby and it's not even, doesn't have arms or anything. It like latches onto the guy's arm, and his buddy that's with him cuts it, and then it sprays the acid blood. It goes over the guy's helmet. He falls into like a mud pile, and then it's still burning and stuff. And then when he gets up and like breathes in, it like sucks his mask in, and it goes all over his whole face, and it just like fucking kills him. While the meantime, the other guy, the xenomorph thing, snapped his arm, went into his suit, climbed up into his suit, and went into his esophagus, and like planted a fucking seed or whatever. And those were like the guys who, they got to the part where they walk into this open room and there's just like alien shit everywhere. Like just random alien stuff. Like walking into the room, there's like a giant head, and then there's just like a bunch of pillars, and these two guys are like, oh no, fuck this. Like, this is not why I'm here at all. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And they leave, and they both fucking die. And it's like, ah, shit. They tried. They really tried, those guys. Idris Elba's in this movie. He has a southern accent I never noticed until like halfway through. And there's something that he said where I just went, the fuck, is he southern? Why is he southern? I'm like, oh, because he's the captain of the ship, so they just made him southern. It's like, okay. That's kind of one of the things that was weird, is that there's like a big cast of characters, and like you kind of care. Well, you care enough actually that when shit starts happening to characters, it is like, oh no. Like, oh shit, the two guys who I thought might actually live, they got fucked. Oh, that sucks. Like, you do feel something for it. Like, every character kind of has their own moment where, you know, even if they get killed really quickly, it's like, oh, I kind of like that guy. Like, I kind of like that guy type of shit. I haven't really done a review of like an older movie yet. Not that this is old, but like, this is just how they're gonna go. They're gonna be all over the place and pretty spoilery. But the whole thing with Prometheus, humans are trying to find their creators, and their creators are basically like, yeah, we like regret creating you, so we're gonna destroy you. And humans are like, that's not good. So then humans create synthetics, and they go, we're trying to find our creator. And the synthetics go, that's interesting, because you are my creator. You, a human, are looking for your creator, and yet me, a synthetic, who's supposed to be lower than you, a human, I am looking at my creator. And I'm going to outlive my creator. That starts to make the gears turn in David's head. And he knows that he's not like supposed to create or supposed to do anything. But then he ends up like breaking whatever, I don't know, the synthetic shit. And he ends up being able to do these type of things. So he gets a hold of, well, he basically steals a bunch of the alien tech and like melts the thing and ends up finding this like parasite, pre-alien parasite, puts it in a drink. Main crew member, the main like husband crew member, drinks it. Over time, we see him getting extremely sick. What's really fucked is when he gets infected, him and his wife have sex. When he ends up dying from the infection, she ends up being tested because they're like, did you have any like physical contact with him within, you know, X amount of time? We gotta like basically get you tested and stuff just to make sure you're not infected. And she's like, yeah, we had sex like 10 hours ago or something. And the fucking synthetic is like, well, this says that you're 4 months pregnant. And she's like, what in the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. And the synthetic's just like, yeah, well, it's not a normal baby. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? One way to find out. And then like, she just starts fucking giving birth to like a little xenomorph. They try to quarantine her really badly. And she ends up escaping, getting to like this machine that can just does the surgery for her. And it's like, oh, it's so stressful. I really didn't think that it would work. I thought someone would come in and like stop it in the middle because it's such a slow process. And they do a really good job of that, of the whole machine like turning on, closing, telling her it's going to be like painful, spinning, applying whatever, cutting her open, pulling out the actual xenomorph, and then she like staples herself up, and then she leaves, and she's like, that was fucked. There's just no communication with like the rest of the crew and stuff for that. But shit does start to hit the fan like pretty immediately after that. So it does make sense as to why that kind of happened. But then the movie continues, and you're like, you kind of forget about that xenomorph over there because it's dead, right? And then the movie continues. They find their creators. The creators are just like, yeah, we fucking hate you. They start killing all the people. Some of the deaths were really shit in this scene, where it's just like, you've been with these characters for some of these characters the whole movie, and it's just like push and they're dead. Push and they fall, and it's like, and then they're dead, and you're like, oh, okay, that's fucking annoying. So they're dead now. The fucking engineer dude who like created the humans ends up chasing down Shaw, our main doctor character here, who gave birth to the fucking xenomorph thing, and she tricks him into basically like going in front of the door. The big xenomorph thing like latches itself on to the engineer, and then it like attaches, it starts eating his face, and just starts like fucking eating it basically, right? And you're like, okay, cool, that guy's dead, we don't have to worry about him. And then Shaw and David take the fucking spaceship. They go take off. And I was like, that's not going to end well. I can't believe she took David with him. David's clearly a fucking bad guy. I can't believe she didn't just like escape on her own. That's going to come back to bite us, whatever. The movie just kind of ends. And then it shows the like xenomorph thing that ate the engineer. And it gives birth to the xenomorph. The fucking big-headed black xenomorph. And I was like, what the fuck? Engineers created humans, and they wanted to kill the humans, and then humans created synthetics, and they don't like the synthetics, but synthetics want to kill humans, and then the synthetic implanted as a parasite into a human, which fucked another human, which made a fucking alien baby, which got pulled out by a robot, which attached to another engineer who created the humans, and then they form and make an alien. It's like, what the fuck? Like, it's just, what the fuck? So much creation. It's so fucked good. Like, it's good. I think it's good. It's such a thought-provoking, like, movie. Like, Prometheus is so out there as to, like, what you're actually watching. It's not just what is on the screen. It's, like, the shit that is actually happening is so different. Like, it's just insane. The movie only almost makes me feel like a crazy person thinking about it, because it's, like, it's so good, but it's really fucked. It doesn't have, like, a good ending or, like, a bad ending. It's just, like, a good... I do think it's a good way to start the Alien franchise. Like, I think that's, like, an extremely fucking wild way that this thing was created. This just alpha creature, like, it was just created with like a mixture of all the engineer, humans, and synthetic, all created this like fucked up little thing. And it's just such a weird like idea, knowing that like the main synthetic David hates humans, and he's not allowed to create, and he like hates that he's not allowed to create, which fuels Covenant a lot. Like, now I guess going right into Covenant, like, because it is a direct sequel, that whole idea of like David the robot not being able to create not even a single note, not even a single poem, that he can't do these things, it just limits him, and it literally tweaks him out. Like, he ends up falling from grace, quite, not that he ever, I think, was ever there, but he ends up just falling so fucking far that by the time we find David in Covenant, you know that guy's not good, man. You know that guy's not good. Alien Covenant starts off with a guy named Jacob being set the fuck on fire and burned alive, and I was like, I should turn this movie off right now. But no, I'll keep watching. And then I was jump scared to find out that it was James fucking Franco. Very weird choice of casting for that one. And like, this movie, like Alien Covenant, like, is not an alien movie. Like, it's a sci-fi movie with a parasite. Like, it is not an alien movie, like, in any way at all. There is just nothing about this movie, aside from there literally being a xenomorph in it, that is, like, extremely, extremely disconnected. Not, like, plot-wise or story-wise, but just so far removed from the actual idea of just what the even franchise is. I think this movie's very much out there. But something that I already kind of gave a rant to my friend, I'm going to give the same rant here, but I want to say what my friend said to me first, because he said, because I really like how my friend views Covenant, because he really liked Prometheus and he liked Covenant as well. I really like Prometheus, and Covenant pissed me the fuck off. I'll get into that. And he says he sees Prometheus and Covenant as like the David storyline. They're not really about xenomorphs as much as they're about David and I don't want to say that, Wayland Yutani, and the origins of Xeno, etc. Because it is like I was saying, how it's this whole creation story, and it's just it's so weirdly woven. And like at the beginning of Covenant, that's where I was talking about like this old man who just is like wanting to meet the engineers. At the very beginning of Covenant, it's the old man when he's younger, and he had like just created David, and he's basically saying, David asks him, well, you know, if it's okay for me to ask, like, you created me, who created you? And that's what I'm trying to find out. I want to try to find out who my creator is. And then David's like, wait a second, let me ponder this a moment. You are looking for your creator, but I'm staring at mine. And then he basically is like, I'm going to outlive you and like forever. And then the guy really doesn't like that. He gets really mad at that whole concept. But right from there, you see that right from inception, David is like, he's not right for a synthetic, right? Like, and then you meet Winston, who is David. All the synthetics look the same. It's like they're the clones, you know, fucking Clone Wars. They all look the same. But now it's just his name is Winston, and he like just has a different accent pretty much. And he's the synthetic on the crew of the Covenant. And the guy who gets set on fire at the very beginning, Jacob, he's the captain. So right away the captain dies. And this other captain has to take over. And he just tells you, they don't like, I don't know, like, I didn't like the writing at that part where it's the new captain has to step up and be a new captain, right? And he gives like a little speech, and he's like stuttering, and he's like really bad at it. And he's like, we gotta get moving. And one member's like, well, like they get woken up from cryogenic sleep early because they like crash into a solar flare, and like a bunch of people die, and they lose like their captain. So their new captain's like, yeah, we can't even do anything for the dead. We have to start working right away. And then like our main crew members have a straight shot of Jack Daniels to remember their captain, and then they send him off in like the airlock, and they have a little, you know, for him. And it's like really nice. Even Winston is a part of it. Bro, even the synthetic has a heart where he's there like for it. And the captain is watching over a fucking security system, and he's like, they disobeyed a direct order. This isn't about that. It's about them not trusting me. It's about the company not trusting me because they think I'm an extremist, and they think that I can't handle anything under pressure, and they think that I can't handle this, and they think that I can't do that. And it's like, brother, I don't even know your name, dude. I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, stop telling me everything about you. And he doesn't get better. That character does not get better. He like had a chance to actually make a difference and to have some sort of arc, and he just fucked it up. It made me so mad. That character's so fucking dumb. Like every character in Covenant is so stupid. That's where like I very much agree with my friend where I should just look at it as like it's a story about David and like how he hates humans, and like the idea of creation is like the fact he can't create drives him insane. Like it drives him crazy to the point where he's a synthetic. He should know like this song was written by this person, you know what I mean? It's like in his database, and he like messes up on a couple things. Even when he meets like Winston, and Winston asks him like, oh, who said this quote? And David like misquotes him, and he's like, one wrong note will ruin the whole orchestra. You're off, David. Like, you're off. You're not right. It's like, yeah, man, this fucking guy is off. But anyways, the first half of Covenant I actually liked, even though, again, it's just like dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. They get woken up early from a cryo sleep. They go out to fix their like solar panel thing. One of the characters gets a transmission of someone singing Country Road, Take Me Home, that song, I'm pretty sure. It ends up being Shaw from Prometheus on the alien ship. Like, she's flying the alien ship, just missing home, and she crash lands somewhere, and that transmission plays out, and they end up hearing it pretty far away, and they decide we should go investigate it. And only one character, like our main character, is like, hey, this is not a good idea. We have set this map. We've made such good plans. We have 2,000 colonists on board who we need to bring them. They're trying to recolonize a fucking planet here. And we're just gonna go to this other planet in searching of like a voice. No one mentions how, this planet probably like won't be good for us to inhabit. You know what I mean? No one says that. It's just that they're going to go there because they found a human voice. And then all of a sudden it's like, they're all just thinking about now of living there. Well, maybe this has better living conditions. Oh, we can set the wheat crops here, and we can set this there and this there. And I'm like, what the fuck? No. Why would that be a good idea? Like, you guys would have seen this already. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just so fucking stupid. Like, that is even a thought that they're having. And like, they land on this fucking alien planet, and it's like, oh wow, it's actually breathable air. And they just walk out there like a bunch of fucking Star Wars rebels, just like walking out like, got little ear flaps and fucking caps on, like dudes. Even in Prometheus, they knew the air was good and they still went out there with helmets on. And these fuckers, within minutes, are sucking up, fucking smelling up airborne pathogen that is the whole fucking island's just covered in alien shit, basically. And then when it gets airborne and goes into it goes in their nose or wherever, in their eye or something, it eventually just creates a xenomorph in their body. What? Like, I don't know where that came from. That came out of like nowhere. I was just all of a sudden like an airborne pathogen, but okay. That shit was crazy. Like, I just thought that whole expedition that they go on when they take like a smaller ship, they bring like basically the whole fucking crew, man. And then the one person's like, okay, I'm gonna take some samples over here. They leave one person with her, and then they all go off into the fucking mountains to find like, oh, all the trees are down. Something must have flew over it and like broke all the trees down. And they go and they eventually find the ship that Shaw flew onto here, that Shaw and David were on. And then just like so the one person gets sick with like the duo that was doing some water testing, and then someone else gets sick, a part of like their crew when their big crew. So like the two go back to the fucking ship, and then it's just like fucking chaos, man. I understand it's like a high octane situation, you know, but like holy fuck, dude's sick. He's fucking bleeding. They bring him into quarantine, right? And right away, the girl who's like at the ship waiting for them, knowing, hey, I gotta quarantine this guy. She sees them and she just freezes because she's like, oh, he's in way worse condition than I thought. And she just freezes. And then they go to quarantine and he coughs up blood. So she locks the two of them in there. And the one woman is like, let me fucking out. What are you doing? Let me out. And the girl's trying to radio the Covenant, being like, we have a problem. And she's raiding the captain, being like, you have to get back here. We have a problem. I don't know. The radios the whole time are just shit. That's like the excuse. Like, the radios are bad the whole time. Never really gets through. There's like no sense of urgency from the captain to get back. He's like, well, hold on. It's okay. We're coming. Like, we have a guy sick here too. And, you know, we're rolling with it. And then when she finally decides to open the fucking door to help, it's just the worst possible time. Like, it's so fucking stupid. It made me mad. She's watching through the little window and the girl's pounding on the door like, open the door, and the dude's in the background like convulsing, freaking out because like an alien's about to, you know, fire out of him pretty much. She could have let her out at any point, and then they could have went, because what happens is she fucking doesn't let her out. She sees the alien literally come out of the dude's back, which is fucked. It's like insane. Then she runs to get like a gun, and takes her way too long to like get a gun and to load and do all that shit. So by the time she comes back, the little fucking alien is just mauling the poor fucking girl in the corner. There's blood everywhere. So she opens the door, takes 2 steps into the fucking room, and slips on a pile of fucking blood and shoots the fucking ceiling. And then she crawls out of the room, closes the door closes on her fucking ankle. Then she gets her ankle out. The door finally closes. The xenomorph just punches a fucking hole through the glass. It's just like, oh my god, she's gonna start shooting in here, isn't she? And then she just starts fucking shooting, and it's like, dude, you're gonna blow up the fucking ship. What do you know? The ship fucking blows up. Everyone's on fire, and the 3 of them fucking die. It's like, cool. All right. Great. Awesome. But the xenomorph doesn't fucking die. And then like 3 other people die. I didn't even know who they were. There's like a firefight. They're just trying to shoot the little xenomorph running around in the grass, basically. The tail ends up hitting the one in the jaw. Like, I literally don't know who died. Characters just die, and I was like, all right. And then fucking David shows up with some flare and saves them all. He leads them to like his castle, and it's just surrounded by fucking bodies of people trying to climb over each other like it's like World War Z or something. And not for a second do any of them like, little sus. Never happens, man. It just never happens. The only one who's like even slightly worried is the other synthetic, because there's still a second synthetic this whole time. Fucking Walter. And Walter's fucking cool, okay? We like Walter. Walter lost a hand in the firefight because he shoved it inside of the xenomorph's face trying to stop it, and it ended up just burning his hand. That was kind of cool. They're all so stupid. It made me so mad. Even when they're inside of this place, it's like very clearly not safe. We should probably use like the fucking buddy system here, guys. Like, I hate when movies do that shit. Like, finally this one character's like, all right, I gotta go like wash up and stuff. And they're like, okay, don't be long. And she leaves. And then all of a sudden, like, a bigger xenomorph just shows up. It just literally, I don't know, it just shows up. It's just outside of their castle, crawls in. You're like, oh, this is gonna be bad. Very quickly just kills the one character that's alone. Captain's like, I'll go investigate. I'll go see. I'll go round up my what is it? I'll go make some like comment because he can't keep his fucking people in line. And he's like, gotta go herd my sheep or something. And then he fucking shows up, and David is basically playing like father with the fucking xenomorph standing there like, oh, it's so beautiful. And the captain's like, move away. And he like shoots the xenomorph, and David screams at him at the top of his fucking lungs, man. And then he actually kills the xenomorph. He kills it, fucking executes it. And he looks at David and he goes, David, I saw the devil when I was a child. I'll never forget that face. You're going to tell me what's going on right now. And David goes, okay, follow me. And he does. He just fucking does. Not for a second is he's like, I should radio for help. Our person was just killed. Her head is floating in a fucking fountain. I should tell everyone about this. Not a second does that cross his fucking mind. He just follows the synthetic. The synthetic is like, wow, I'm a bit of a... I like animals, whatever the fuck they're called. And he starts showing them like all the experiments he's done. Then he brings them into his basement. He's like, look at my other experiments, my live experiments. They're very safe though, don't worry. You should stick your face over this egg here. Nothing bad's gonna happen. I'm like, this fucking idiot. This actual idiot. And he does. His face hugger comes out and does its thing. And then they have like a face chest burster scene. And it was like bad. I was like, wow, that was a shit chest burster scene. Like his chest bursts and then he reacts. It's like the one scene, guys. The one scene in the Alien movie that you just have, like, you can't fuck it up, and you just fucked it up so hard. This is why I was saying, once my friend said, you think of it as a David story. Once you do that, it's a lot better. Because, like, the synthetic makes some pretty smart moves. Everyone else is just really fucking stupid, and it makes me really angry. And then the two synthetics fight, and I like that. That was fun. It's just too predictable, man. It's just way too fucking predictable. You see the second synthetic, you're like, yeah, man, that guy's gonna... This motherfucker David hates humans. He just found a ship of 2,000 colonists, and he's like, wow, would you look at that? It's literally like what he says, and it's like, all right, he's going to try to kill everyone and replace Walter. He's just going to replace Walter, and yeah. They, like, get off of the fucking planet, right? And there's, like, a tussle, like, a big xenomorph comes out of nowhere and just follows them onto the fucking ship, right? They end up killing it, crushing it with the crane. It's like, whatever. They're on the ship, and I really like this part. The ship, like, warning, there's unidentified life form on the ship. Like, unidentified life form on the ship, and I'm like, my fucking David. That ain't fucking Walter or Wesley, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. That's David. Walter died, because there's, like, a tussle between the two synthetics. They both, like, reach for the gun type of thing. And, like, you don't know who gets it. And then the other synthetic dresses, like, David just dresses himself like the Walter, whatever. And, like, I'm okay with the twist ending like that. David, like, kind of succeeds. And it's really fucked up. There's just not a single, like, Prometheus. I could take stuff from and be like, this is a cool movie. I liked, like, the concepts and ideas they're playing with here. Man, in Covenant, it's just, like, I don't know. Do you want to see a bunch of people die and then a robot win? Like, a robot who you don't like in the first movie is back in the second movie, and he's just gonna win this time. It's like, oh, well, that didn't feel good. This whole movie just felt like, here's a nice thing. Now the nice thing is dead at every turn. There was no character development. There was just no, like, there was just nothing. There was just, I don't know, like, there was just nothing there, man. It's just a fucking movie about people dying. Like, Covenant really pissed me off in that way. It's just doom and gloom, man. It's just, if doom and gloom was a movie, this is literally it. I don't need there to be a happy ending. But no, not a single character gets flowers, man. Not even, a character doesn't even have, like, a good sacrifice, you know? People fucking die, and that's the movie. And that's why I didn't really like Covenant. Like, I liked it. I'm not watching it again, I'll tell you that. I would watch Prometheus again, for sure. Prometheus was really cool. I don't need there to be a David story, like, I guess, is my kind of thing. Much as I thought, it's complicated. Because I kind of liked some of that stuff. But I really felt like in Covenant, some of the best, like, dialogue, like, some of the best scenes were just between Walter and David, like 100%. Actually, probably the best scene in the whole movie is between Walter and David. So yeah, I guess that's kind of all I gotta say about those movies. So far, my rewatching of the Alien franchise is going pretty well, I think. Really liked Romulus. I thought Prometheus was pretty good. Covenant, I'm very confused. I'm, like, angry. Just characters are dumb. They just all make bad decisions. No one makes a fucking single good decision in this whole movie. And it was frustrating. It's a weird one. Didn't love it. Hopefully the rest of the Alien movies are better for me. I've already rewatched 2, but I'm gonna watch it again. Like, I'm gonna watch 1 and 2 in order. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. But you know, that's that, I guess. So until the next time, this is what we got on Just Jacob. We're so back. I got a lot more videos where that came from. I'm almost done my Elden Ring playthrough. My Let's Talk videos. Never miss, let's be real. I got a lot more like movie, game, and anime reviews coming down the pipe. I actually recorded my Demon Slayer review. I have to do it again because the audio is fucked. Till next time, good afternoon, good evening, and the light. I don't know why I keep doing that. Good afternoon, good evening, and the light. Don't let the face huggers bite because that would be bad. Bye.